Hey there, how's it going? Welcome to Dominion 6. My name's Mew. This time around, I'm going to be playing a multiplayer game set in the early age, and I'm going to be playing as Machaka. This video is the intro for this series, and in this video, I'm just going to talk a little bit about Machaka, as well as talk about the god that I made, the scales that I chose, and the bless that I went with. And then the next video going up in this series will be turn 1 to 3. So if you just want to see gameplay, go watch that one instead. I will aim to get about 2 videos up each week in this series, and they will usually be about 3 turns long. It might be a little bit shorter than that if the turns end up getting very complicated later in the game, but in general you can expect about 6 turns a week. And if you enjoy this series, or any of the other series on the channel, do please consider liking the video, subscribing, and leaving a comment, all that YouTube stuff. And thanks as always to my Patreon supporters for supporting me in keeping the channel going. If you're interested in that, there's a link to it in the description below. You should also find a link to the playlist for this series in the description as well, just so that you can find all the videos in one place. I'm a big fan of Machaka. I actually played a Machaka game in Dominions 5 as well, which is also on the channel, where I went with a very different strategy, so if you want more Machaka action and you don't mind watching Dom 5, be sure to check that out too. Anyway, I'll keep the intro brief. Let's head over now to the nation screen and take a look at Machaka. And here we are, EA Machaka, Lion Kings. I don't think these guys have changed much since Dominions 5. There are a few little tweaks and changes, but nothing like major. There's no like brand new units or anything like that. They do have a few new national spells, and they do have a bit of glamour magic now, but mostly very, very similar to Dominions 5. Nothing really interesting in the national features either. We do like heat scales +2. We have a heat limit +1 on our blesses and scales. Besides that, pretty standard all around. Mixture of human and colossi units who are slightly larger. So I'll just take a quick look over the commanders and the units, starting as always with our national scout. 35 gold scouts, fantastic. Saving 15 gold over the Muspelheim scouts I have to recruit. Always a huge issue for me. We also get spies as well, which are quite nice. These are 2 rec point spies. Fair enough. It was nice when you can leverage tons of spies to unrest someone's cap just before you invade them or something, but we have them anyway if we feel like recruiting them. A couple of different types of commanders then. We have a Rhino clan variant. Interestingly, this guy doesn't have the formation fighter that the unit versions do. So +0 for 2, 75 leadership. You have Lion clan commanders, +1 for 3, 100 leadership. And a voice of lion as well, our first mage. So I really like these commanders. They're very good general purpose leaders. They're little nature mages, they can bless sacred troops. They also have tight rain. And this is an ability that's been added in Dominion 6, and this is probably one of my favourite commander abilities ever. I love this so much. I love being able to lead around, you know, undisciplined animal units, being able to tell them to attack rear. You can make Black Hawks hold an attack rear. Lions can hold an attack rear. You can recruit independent barbarians and give them orders, independent bone tribe guys, have them in box formation. Oh, it's great. I love tight rain so much. Easily one of my favourite additions to the game. Yeah, I really like these leaders generally. Also Beastmasters, so they're very, very good at leading animals generally, but on top of that they can also give them orders. One of my favourite little basic mage commanders. Expect to see a lot of these. Next up we got Spider Clan Witch Doctors, a very basic mage. They are not very good at researching, but they do give us 1 in all of our paths pretty much. We're missing Earth. I think that's the only national path we're missing here. But good, cheap, general purpose mage if you just want some basic buffs and things. I have a few of these guys knocking around putting lock on people and stuff. Hyena Clan Witch Doctor. The Hyena Clan are a bit rude in that they are heretics and lower your dominion. Besides that, these are all D2 mages, so they can all do Horde of Skeletons. And they are disease healers as well, which is very nice. 230 gold, not too bad, decent researcher. Next up, Buddha. Buddhas, I think, are probably one of the best mages in the game. So they have a forge bonus, which is very nice, cheap items. And they are also all skelly spammers as well. On top of that, they can all easily do earth power. So having a dude who can do summon earth power and then just spam horde of skeletons is very powerful. And on top of that, he can turn into a were hyena as well, so pretty good. Possible to have a bonus to fire, earth, or death. Yeah, Buddhas are one of the best mages in the game. If you end up with F2 as well, you could put Phoenix Power on yourself for free, which is pretty funny. I mean, what more to be said about Buddhas? Yeah, it is unfortunate that they are Heretic 2 and they cause unrest, so very, very rude mages. But in general, you know, easily one of the best mages in the game. Only 300 gold? You require 4 rec points though. Importantly, you can get these out of every fort though, which is incredible. Love Buddhas. Then we have some cap-only mages. We have the Spider Clan Sorcerer. These are like the other guys who give you one in every path, but get a bunch of picks too. So if you want slightly higher levels of glamour especially, these are the guys you want to be recruiting. I quite like these mages because they're only 270 gold for a very powerful mage. It's a shame they cost 4 rec points instead of 2, but yeah, I mean, really good mages for the cost. Compared to things like the Lion Queen, who are exceptionally good mages but much more expensive. Probably not likely to get a pick either. But guaranteed F3 and N2 compared to the Lion King, who is guaranteed N3 and F2. So you probably want to get a couple of these guys out to make sure that you can get up big fire and nature buffs. Then these guys are just a much cheaper option for more general spells. And as many Buddhas as you can bear on your nation while they're causing unrest and reducing your dominion. But in general, we have lots of variety for mages you might want to recruit. Need some disease healing, get these guys. Just want to spam a bunch of really cheap mages, these guys. Need leaders, these guys. Big specific mages, these guys. Yeah, I like our mage selection. We have quite a variety of magic paths as well. Units then. A less impressive selection of units, I would say. Starting with the Pygmy Archer. Pygmy Archers were one of the best units in Dominions 5. Because you could get 6 of them on a square. And then buff them with flaming arrows. And they're extremely cheap, so you could just have thousands and thousands of shortbows firing flaming arrows very easily. You can probably still do that. I guess it's technically even easier to do now because the arrow buff spells come earlier in the book. You get smaller versions of them. Although they only fit 5 to a square now, I think. Still, Pygmies, one of the best units on the nation. Machaka Militia? Okay. But Clan Archer, I mean, why bother? You have big Pygmy Archers. These guys have slightly better morale, I suppose. Machaka Warriors, and Hyena Clan Warriors, and what's the other one? Rhino Clan Warriors, and Lion Clan Warriors are your spear dudes. If you want the cheap one, you get Machaka Warriors. If you want the guys with javelins, you get Hyena Clan Warriors. If you want the guys who have, overall, I think the best stats, with Formation Fighter as well, so you get more of them on a square, you get Rhino Clan Warriors. And then, I guess there's also Lion Clan. I don't really know why you would recruit these when you could get Rhino Clan, though. Is it a cost thing? I guess they offer fewer resources. Maybe that's the niche? Is there... They also have a same sort of weapon and stuff as the Rhino Clan guys, but lower protection and fewer resources. Personally, I think of these, I'm only ever going to either get these guys for javelins or these guys because you can get more of them on a square and they have the best stats. Besides that, I don't really see why you would recruit any of the other warriors, to be honest. There is also a cap-only version who has a poison-tipped spear, but yeah, I don't know. Also 0 protection. I suppose if you really wanted to just stack up poison on something, it's a bit weird though because maybe you'd do this against like an invading thug or a god or something, but our sacreds are already anti-thug, anti-god units, so not sure what the point of this is. We also have poison arrow guys from the capital as well. But again, this is kind of pointless now, I think, because there are spells added in Dominion 6 that let you buff ranged weapons with poison damage. So you'd probably be better off just recruiting pygmies and then casting the poison damage buff on them with your Voice of Lion or something, right? I feel like these 2 units, the cap-only poison dudes, they fill a niche that I don't think exists anymore. I think they're just kind of weird units. It's odd that they're like cap-only too. I don't think I'll ever recruit these, but feel free to let me know if you disagree and you think they have a good use somewhere. I think I pretty much only ever recruit pygmies or rhinos out of all of my forts, though, to be honest. That and lions. I like lions a lot as well. Lions were always pretty good for expansion, surprisingly. They're even better for expansion now because you can script them using the tight reign leader. So, sending out your armies with a couple of lions in the back on hold and attack rear is very nice. I enjoy that probably too much. But yeah, being able to get lions out of all your forts is also pretty sick, I think. These guys are actually kind of expensive, but require no resources, so as long as you have golden rec points, you can spam as many of these as you want, which is pretty sick. Spider Riders then? I don't know. I guess these are also fully niche that I don't really see. They do spit webs, which is cool. And I was told that the web attack that these guys get can be weapon blessed now, which is a bit funny. And they're good units, I mean, but I don't know if I'd ever choose to recruit them. Again, they do have the luxury of being quite cheap on resources, though, so I guess they're kind of cool. Maybe you can use those spells on them that buff mounts or something, I don't know. But yeah, Spider Riders, they definitely have their uses. More so than the other units, I think, the other spider units. Elephants, again, I'm not sure. I mean, they probably have uses. I'm probably not going to use them very much. I think elephants were a lot better back when the game was turn-based, I think, and you could you could guarantee getting first strike and trampling a bunch of enemies before they had a chance to react. I feel like elephants fall off every version of Dominions. But hey, if you want to pay 100 gold for a big routing trampler, that's actually, do you guys even trample, or are you just elephant? Are you just archers on the back of a big mount? Oh, there's the elephant. Okay, yeah, you're a trampler. If you want a 10 morale, 7 magic resistance trampler that people fire arrows off the back of, then yeah, sure, that's there. We also have Lion Warriors. So these guys got changed slightly since Dominions 5, in that their armor only gives you 6 protection now instead of 15. It does also protect your head though, which is nice. So that's a bit of a nerf, but instead they get 18 invulnerability. So they actually have more protection now compared to Dominions 5, as long as you're up against mundane damage. If you are up against magic weapons though, they now only have 7 protection, which is much worse. So up to you how much these guys suck now. I know that a lot of people don't like these units or don't rate them very highly. Personally, I love them. I think Lion Warriors are sick. I love these things, mostly just because I just love this gigantic club that they have. The great thing about Lion Warriors is that they just crush enemy gods early on if you get invaded by something that, you get attacked by like a dragon or a earth serpent or something, you just run up to it with a couple of these guys and they just bonk it on the head and it falls asleep immediately. It's a giant 200 weapon that does a shitload of damage, and obviously they're sacred, so you could put a bless on them to make it hit even harder. It's magic damage, so there's no protection from it, from like Mistform or Ethereal or Invulnerability or anything. And then on top of that, it does 20 armor-negating fatigue damage, which does not have a magic resistance roll. This is just, if it hits you, you take 20 fatigue damage. Now, it does say reduced for large targets. I don't notice this at all. To the point where I wonder if it's bugged, to be honest. Because I'm recording this when the game is actually quite far in. It's like beyond turn 30 at the moment. And I will say, I have hit enemy gods with this thing and put them to sleep in like 2 turns. I don't notice reduced for large targets at all. As far as I'm concerned, these things are just instant kill on large single targets. Which makes them sick. So, I don't know, I love them. They take buffs really well. They are size 4, which means, what, you can only get 2 on a square. But if you take the larger bless, you still only get 2 on a square, so they're actually buffed in that respect from Dominions 5, technically. Yeah. Cool units, they have decent stats overall. Very, very hard-hitting Spirit Club. They're very tanky against mundane damage as well. They have like, what? It's like 6 plus 18. It's like, it's over 20 protection against mundane damage. Pretty chunky as well, 22 hit points. Yeah, I love these units. A lot of people really do not like these units though, so I don't know. Other opinions are available. And that's looking over Machaka in brief. Do feel free to let me know what you think of Machaka in the comments. In particular, if you use any of the units besides pygmies, rhinos, lions, and lion warriors, because that's kind of what I focus on in this game. As for our sites, we have a Great Mababwe, which is 2 Earth, 1 Fire, and Forest of Spider, 1 Nature, 1 Death, 1 Glamour. And yeah, we do have a bunch of new national spells on Machaka since Dominions 5. That is true. I haven't looked at them too closely. I did see that there's like a cool spell that lets you issue a bunch of patrol in a province or something. I don't know, it just sounded sick because it like covers it in spiderwebs or something. But anyway, there's the nation, briefly. Let's go check out the god that I made now. So here it is, licensed under Creative Commons, the Divine Glyph. This is an imprisoned immobile pretender. Although not super immobile, he can teleport around because he's not unteleportable, unlike my geyser in the Muspelheim game. So he's pretty cool. In the Dominions 5 series I did of EA Machaka, I took an Awake expanding god. So I wanted to do kind of the opposite this time, something a bit different. I got recommended a variant of this god, played around with it a bit, and this is what I ended up with. So first things first, magic paths. We have a ton of magic power here. This lets us do a bunch of fun things. It also lets us forge lots of boosters. We can make fire hats, we can make earth boots, we can make... Oh, actually, I haven't checked. Is the earth booster astral and earth now, or is it glamour and earth? I have no idea. But we can definitely make earth boosters to the best of my knowledge. It used to be earth and astral. I don't know if it's changed or not. We can make nature boosters, both of them, I think. I think we can make glamour boosters as well, right? I think the glamour booster is, one is pure glamour and one is glamour and earth. So yeah, as I said, this game is currently in like turn 30 or something, so it's been a while since I made this guy, but yeah, we have a ton of magic diversity for forging boosters, that's for sure. We can also get up all of the fire globals if it comes to that too, since most of them only require F6, I believe. I know Eternal Pyre is F6, and so is, I think, Purgatory. I'm not sure if there are any other fire globals, maybe like Second Son or something. But yeah, definitely we can get up the basic fire globals, that's for sure. And we can also get up some astral globals as well. It might be hard for us to search for astral pearls is the thing, because we don't have any astral mages on our nation. It's only our god. But if we do get any pearl income, we could also put up Eyes of God, which would be quite nice too. This guy can also do a bunch of goofy spells as well with Glamour and Astral and stuff. Astral lets him put Returning on himself and then teleport around, which is very useful. And Glamour and Astral, I believe, lets you project yourself, which is also very funny. That lets you kind of safely teleport a copy of you, an illusion of yourself to a province, to then do some spells. And our god is an innate spellcaster, so he casts very quickly, even if it's a big, slow spell. So teleporting into provinces or projecting into provinces and then suddenly dropping huge spells will be very fun if we make it to the mid-game / late game and get a bunch of magic researched. I often have difficulty researching in games though, so remains to be seen if that will be the case or not. Besides that, yeah, he is a pretty sick chassis. He is ethereal, which is good, but ethereal has been nerfed a bit since Dominions 5. In Dominions 5, if you were ethereal and you had earth magic, you could put Iron Skin on yourself and be ethereal with 20 protection, but I don't think you can do that now. I'm not super confident that I know everything that's changed in Dominion 6, but I'm pretty sure that's something that's changed, right? You can't Iron Skin yourself if you're ethereal anymore, which is a shame. As that we are floating spirit form. I don't think this has much effect though, does it? Oh, maybe this is the thing, I see. Cannot be affected by transformation spells like Iron Skin, Skeletal Body, and Polymorph. That also stops us. Does Ethereal not do that then? Maybe I got it confused and it's spirit form that stops you. Either way, we can't Iron Skin ourselves, which is a bit of a shame. We also get the forging penalty that a lot of immobile dudes get, which is, you know... Sight Vengeance is cool. Ethereal with Sight Vengeance. Man, if we could boost our protection, we would be so tanky. Anyway. Yeah, good chassis. Could be pretty fun. In terms of scales and things then. First up, we have quite high Dominion. That's because, I mean, our best unit by a landslide is our Sacred. You want to be able to get out as many Sacreds as possible, I think, as often as possible. So Dominion is quite high. And we also have quite good scales as well, so we want these to spread around and be quite robust. So Order 3, you get a bonus to that from this chassis. And Productivity 2, this should just be a ton of income on its own. But then on top of that, we've also got Growth, and then a bit of Magic too. So really, really good all-around scales. I have taken Misfortune 2 to pay for that. We'll see how this goes. So in Dominions 5, whenever I played multiplayer games, we used a balance mod that made Luck better and Misfortune worse. So Misfortune 2 in the balance mod we used to use would be the equivalent of Misfortune 4. So Misfortune shouldn't be as bad as what I'm used to, right? So I'm hoping this isn't too bad. We'll see how it goes though. I might have to reevaluate how good Luck and Misfortune are, is what I'm trying to say. So we'll give it a shot here. We'll see how bad Misfortune 2 actually is. We can counteract Misfortune 2 a little bit though with Order 3. So we'll reduce the number of random events we actually get. But anyway, point is, we're just imprisoned with a very, very good Scales Bless. This should give us tons of income, especially since a lot of our units are quite cheap to begin with. Particularly things that require no resources and stuff like that. We should be able to spam tons and tons of units if we want to, which will be pretty good. And the Bless then looks like this. Glamour stuff I think is just always pretty good, right? Heroism got nerfed recently in a patch, so it's now only 35% more experience per level. But still, we have 3 pips of it. That'll help boost the stats on our Sacreds, which is going to be very useful. And True Sight I think is always just quite good on Sacreds. Lets them ignore a bunch of annoying effects. So those are just pretty simple, straightforward. I think our Sacreds are quite good on their own. They don't need a huge amount of Bless power, in my opinion. Nice thing about these as well is they think they're just always applied, right? You don't actually need to get Blessed to have the Heroism, or the True Sight, or the Lodger for that matter. So a lot of these are just kind of passive effects, which is really convenient. That's not super important to us because we have so many... well, it's very easy for us to bless troops, especially early on, because I'm mostly going to be recruiting Voices of Lion, who are all priests anyway. But if you were doing a variation and you were concerned about being able to bless your troops, nice to have a bunch of passive effects. Larger is a cool one for us, as I said, because our Sacreds are size 4. Larger just puts them up to size 5, so that's still 2 units per square no matter what. It doesn't change anything really. I suppose it does mean that you can't get an extra unit on the square though, if you had some like size 2 stuff that could stand next to you. But that's not a big deal. It's just a bunch more hit point strength and map movement for our Sacreds. So a pretty nice one. And then 2 pips of fire resistance. I went with fire resistance because, first of all, we do have some fire mages and we can deploy fire LEs early. So being able to stand in the aura, probably pretty good. I also didn't go super hard on heat and also took the fire resistance bless because there is a Muspelheim in the game, and I do not want to get crushed early by Muspelheim invading me because I have heat 3 and no fire resistance. So we have heat 1 and 2 pips of fire resistance to try and dissuade getting rushed by the Fireboys, because I'm currently playing a Muspelheim game, and they seem pretty strong early on, and also pretty strong later on. I don't know, they seem very strong. So, just covering your bases, It's like when you know that there's an Ubar in the game or something, and you make sure to take magic weapons, right? It's the same sort of thing. Just make sure I don't get crushed early. And I think that's it for the gold and the bless and stuff. I don't think there's much else to talk about. Feel free to leave a comment, let me know what you think. As I said, the game has progressed a bit already. So I suppose that's a bit of a spoiler. You now know that I don't get immediately rushed and killed by turn 10 of the game. But I hope you enjoy watching it anyway. I am planning to upload the turn 1 to 3 video of this series at the same time as this video. So if you watch this all the way to the end, congrats! You can now go and watch turn 1 to 3 as well if you feel like it. And as I mentioned before, I'll try and get up 2 videos a week if I can. Or not quite a week, but like I'm leaving like a 3-day gap between each video, which seems a bit easier to stick to than just doing them on set days. Either way, I hope you enjoy the series. Thanks for checking out this video. If you're new here, welcome. If you're old here, also welcome, I guess. I have nothing left to say. I'm just kind of The wheels are turning in my brain as I think, is there anything else I'm supposed to say before I end the video? I don't think there is, so I'll leave things there. So thanks as always for watching, hope you enjoy it, and hopefully I will see you in the next video.